Episode 6.
Oh, six,
Six of the
six, six.
Dandin and RJ
Sorry,
Machismo Pack podcast. This is Dandin.
sorry, Machismo. What's going on, peeps?
First and foremost, we would want to say thank you to everybody for taking the time to, listening to us. We really means a lot to us, especially like the comments, feedback, subscriptions. That means a lot. So we're only going to continue to get better as each episode.
Yes, sir.
So today is a good episode for us. As you can tell, like we're wearing like sports gear. Raul got the Bulls, Derrick Rose, Chi-Town's finest, and I got
Yes,
the Rod
sir.
Strickland Bullets jersey. So today it's the sports episode. So as you guys know, if you guys know us, we're really we're into shoes, or what also inspired the shoes is sports. So they go hand in hand. So me and Rel, like we are diehard fans of most of the four major sports.
Or major sports.
Yes,
Yep.
sir. Yeah, basketball, football, hockey. What else am I missing? Baseball,
Soccer.
soccer,
I mean,
MLS.
anything though. Yeah, anything
Yeah. So,
though.
I think this is a good episode for us to just provide to you guys, share our stories, our moments and experiences. So I'm gonna ask Rael, what got you into sports?
Honestly, for me, it was just learning how to play basketball as a kid, man. I think it was more learning like learning to play ball before even watching the sport. Because growing up in the Philippines, man, you don't even have TV. You don't have none of that stuff. I mean, you'll see like games here and there in the PBA, but for me growing up, I didn't have, I didn't have those channels. So because I grew up in the province, so for us there, it was just learning basketball first. With your chinelas and all that stuff. Anybody knows chinelas is those little slippers. You know what
Flip
I'm
flop.
saying? Yeah, flip flops. So yeah, for me, man, I think it was just learning the game of basketball and just wanting to know how it is, like seeing it on TV. Obviously when I got here in the United States, that's when I started watching more sports because it's available. So I think that's the main thing for me. How about you, man?
Well, just like you, basketball was my first love. When you're in, as when your dad is diehard like basketball fan. I think and I get it. Like every parent's dream is for them to follow the sport that you love, right?
Yep.
So basketball was first and foremost like my dad's first love. I remember he would always play pickup games because he was a hooper. Yeah, he was a hooper. Yeah,
Dang.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
even know you play ball, man.
yeah. My dad played ball. Yeah, so like he would always on his days off when my mom would work, my dad would take me to the park, play the playground. But I also I also remember like watching him play basketball, and also like teaching. Like he was also a good teacher to me, like as far as like how to shoot, how to dribble. Uh, yeah, it's just that's the most fondest memory I have. Basketball and then football, like living in Maryland, like football was everything. Um, you got into like rooting for your home team and nothing but your
Yeah.
home team. There was no bandwagons. During that time, like your family was all into sports. So every Sunday, uh, you know, and then it happens now. Like you go to church, and then you go home to church, you get food, and then you get home for the NFL pregame.
Yeah, that's every Sunday, every fall Sunday, man. That's the routine right there.
Yeah. So like it's great. Like imagine you watch football from like was it like 12:30
So
pregame,
like
8
so
like
like
10 o'clock.
yeah,
That's
Sunday night football
that's
ends
like
it.
more than 12 hours, right? And then you
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
like Sports Center, NFL Network. Yeah, it's great. And then like the biggest challenge here when I moved to California, like you're 3 hours like behind. I I gotta like make adjustments. Watching it at
Yeah,
10
yeah.
o'clock, 10 o'clock in the
10
morning.
o'clock, 10 a.m., man. Yep.
So imagine like everybody, you're so used to watching like sports, in the morning, in the afternoon. You watch it
At
in the
noon.
morning. It's weird,
It is weird. It is
yeah.
weird. I
But
mean, I was able to experience that when I was there. It was crazy, man. Everything ends at like 5:30 Pacific time. It's
yeah, and
crazy.
then you're like, what am I supposed to do now? You know what I mean?
You got
I
like
got
the whole night.
I got the whole night to just like hang out or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the only cool thing about it. The only bad thing is like you wake up, damn, it's already like 9 o'clock. It's like 12 o'clock over there already. You
Right.
know, especially like you're into like fantasy like sports. You
Yeah.
gotta set your lineup. You gotta like see who's hurt. Who you need to like switch out. Who you need to play stuff like that. So it's great. Sports came from me from a childhood, like from my dad and also playing with my cousins and my family members. So it was great. Um, so I got another question for Rel. So it's a good one. Who were your favorite athletes growing up, and who are your current favorite athletes?
Growing up, favorite athlete, to be honest with you, it's obviously Michael Jordan. I think that goes for everybody, right? Michael
Yep.
Jordan. Um, Seeing that game against the Orlando Magic, when Nick Anderson stole the ball from him. That was that was
That was tough, man.
yeah, that was the first game I ever seen Jordan play, and from then on out, I just started watching him, keeping up with him. And unfortunately, I didn't have like the shoes, and I wasn't like knowledgeable with like I didn't know how it was here in America, how it was like it was a popular thing just buying his shoes.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, he was one of them. Obviously, after that was Kobe Bryant. And this is all in the NBA. Um, Probably let's say NFL at that time. I think it was probably Steve Young, to be honest with you. I don't know why it was just Steve Young because he was like the 49ers was always on TV.
Yeah.
So and let's say the NHL probably at that time too. It was probably like Eric Lindros and Peter Bondra. Those were the two guys that I watched the most. So those were my favorite athletes at that time.
Hmm.
But current, I would have to say it would be Carmelo Anthony and James Harden. Let's just keep it to NBA because I don't really have anybody else in any other sports. So NBA is probably Carmelo Anthony and James Harden right now.
Uh-huh.
I just love the way they play, man. The styles that they play is just it's just ridiculous. They're so good at it, man. So
Yeah. I see, like I said, I remember like talking to you, and I see you play. You model a lot of your game like after Kobe, Jordan, Melo, you know,
yeah,
like that hezzy and the step back, the ISOs, pump
yeah, you
fake.
were the main. I mean, you were the main one. That kind of like told me to do it. Like especially when we were playing in Nova, you're always like, once you use the hezzy, man, like you see how Melo plays. Once you use it, you got to use it fadeaways. Use it. So listening to you doing that, and I started like adding it more into my repertoire of the moves, in basketball. So you know, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's great, man. Like I said, basketball, and like to us, like me and Rel, I think basketball is like a big influence of sports.
It is.
It bonds everybody together. Like playing like church leagues, Filipino
Yeah.
leagues. Me and Rel, we played in the one season with the with the
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas. Yeah,
Yeah.
we win no
Yeah.
game. We were like 0-10.
0-10 or something like that.
0-10. Yeah. So like my job was just to, to just play defense, rebound the ball, and then just
Yeah.
give it back to like Rel and
Yeah.
our other shooters.
Right.
You know, just like what Nick Young says. Shooters shoot. So
Exactly.
that's what Rel was. That's what he was good at.
And see, that's another thing that that's when your favorite athlete comes into play. Like when you think about those things, like you want to be those guys. You know what I'm saying? You want to imitate how they play. You want to just have their mindset. So I think that's a big part of having those favorite athletes. Not just because you admire how they play, it's just how you you just like when you're playing that sport, it's how you want to be like them. Like I said, that mama mentality type stuff. You want to have that. So, yeah, man. How about for you? Who was your favorite athletes back then, and who is it now?
Of course, first of all, like it was Michael Jordan. Everybody idolized him, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The way he dressed, the way he played basketball, the way he conducted himself. Like my when he retired the first time, everybody was just heartbroken. And
Yeah,
then when he came back, it's like, damn, like he's really trying to prove everybody wrong.
yeah.
Yeah. So it was great, man. And then of course, if you guys all know me, my favorite player is Gilbert Arenas. Yeah, that was my guy. Yeah, that was my guy. So, you know, ever since like he was, also second round pick. He was also proven wrong. He wore zero because nobody wanted to give him a chance. Um, and then it was just a dream come true. Like he signed with the Wizards after shortly when Jordan retired. He came in like 03, 04. And then I think during that time, like he was killing, like he was cooking. Um,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
he was when Golden State, he was most improved player of the year that one year. I
Yeah, I
remember.
think it
Yeah,
was second
so,
year. Yeah, and then
yeah.
like there was that big three with him, Larry Hughes, and Anton Jameson.
Antoine Jameson with the Bama
Anton,
shots.
yeah, I'm out of my game with him. Yeah, I'm gonna edit that.
Oh man,
I'm
it's
gonna
all
edit
good.
this joint. Look at my guy right here.
you got the, you
What's
got
up?
the,
You got the Ryan joint.
you got the headphones, bro.
Yeah.
What's
Oh,
up, dude? You got the headphones too.
yeah. You got that too? You got
No,
the
not
Ryan
that.
joint. Hold on, let me get him his dessert real quick. I'll be back.
Yeah,
Here.
yeah.
Hold this. That banana's not right there. Here. We're gonna eat it. Water, okay? Here. Oh man, we're in a different location.
Yeah. I'm a
You switch?
relocate.
Is that a different room?
Yeah, we're in the bedroom, bro.
Is that your bedroom?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's like Jonas stuff back there. So
That's
we'll
cool.
relocate, man.
So I'm gonna edit this piece. So what did I say? I was saying like Gil, right?
Yeah.
He was big three. So all right. They probably see like what the hell in the video. All right. In five.
I could go back.
No, that's cool. Just leave it there. You good there?
I think I'll go back because it looks weird. It looks weird,
They're
man.
like, well, whose room is that?
I know they're like, what? Why you switch up all of a sudden?
I know, yeah. I know y'all edited this joint because I can see you.
Yeah, let me just switch back, dude.
Yeah, I start off with my second favorite player.
Yeah. Now you finished with Gil. I don't think you finished with that one.
I can start over with Gil.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me just put the light on.
Yeah.
Put it up there.
That's how it is, man, when you have kids. You have no
I know,
control.
dude.
Dad, can I have ice cream? All right. All
Yeah.
right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So my second favorite player is if you guys know me, of course, is it's Gilbert Arenas. Uh, I've been following him like since he was in Arizona when they almost beat Duke in like 2001, and then I was hoping they would get him like in the NBA draft with the Wizards, but like he fell to like the second round,
Yeah.
and then I just liked him from the very beginning because like he was different. Like he was the reason he played, wore zero because people thought he'll get 0 minutes. Like he think he'd be a bum, right?
Yeah.
So he proved everybody wrong. He got like most improved player, second year, and then it was just like a dream come true when he played with the Wizards. I think he played for like 5 years with us, and those 5 years were great. He was on his way to be like one of the best, players that time, and until like Gerald Wallace like fell on his knee and
Fucking
just ruined
Gerald
everything,
Wallace,
man.
man, with the
That Bama,
Bobcats.
I know
Those
that
were good
Bama Gerald
Bobcats,
Wallace.
right?
Yep,
Yeah.
was never the same. Um, and then later in the podcast too, we can go into detail like, like I got to meet him with Gil too, and he was a real cool dude.
Yeah.
Got to coach my kid up. Yeah, so Michael Jordan and then Gil, those are my NBA peoples. And then with football, man, that's a good one. I probably gonna say like my favorite player growing up, like watching, was like Daryl Green.
Daryl Green,
Daryl Green, like I said, he was undersized, but he was a shutdown corner.
the
Just,
fastest guy
yep, in the
on
NFL.
the field. Yeah.
Yeah, remember those? They had those NFL what do you call those? Quarterback club. Every time in the Pro Bowl like skill challenge in Hawaii,
Yeah. Yeah. The skill challenge ones. Yeah.
they always do the race, and he would always like smoke like everybody.
Yeah. I mean, that man ran a 4.2.
Yep, hard for it too. Yeah,
Yeah.
him and Dion during that time were the only shutdown corners, in my opinion.
Yeah. That was another guy that's one of my favorite players, Deion Sanders, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, Dion. Yeah, Dion
Yeah.
changed the game. And then
Yeah.
another player too, football. I'd say Michael Vick.
Oh, yeah. Michael Vick.
Vic Vic was
Another guy
just
that changed the game.
Vic
Another
was
guy that
different,
changed the
man.
game.
04? Madden
Yeah.
04?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was a
First,
cheat code
the
right
first
there,
the
man.
first time like I remember we were playing Madden 04 online, where you
Yeah.
have to like get the modem on the PS2,
Yeah.
that bulky
The little,
thing,
yeah, you got to screw it in there, you know what
got
I'm saying?
screwed in, and then I was the Redskins, and then Rel was the Falcons, and then what Rel used to do is he would play as Vic, and then he would run it. He'll be in the 50-yard line. He'll run it back all the way down to his end zone, and
Yeah.
then he would go all the way back just to like because it was like it wasn't like a Madden cheat code. It was just that his speed was like 100.
Yeah, it was 100 speed, man.
Yeah, his accuracy wasn't like that yet.
Yeah, he wasn't like a pure passer at that time, you know.
Yeah, and then like the whole like dog thing like really like messed him up. And then
That
played with your Eagles too. He
that was to me, that was a great thing right there, man.
yeah,
He got to play behind McNabb,
yeah.
and then Cobb got hurt, and then
Hmm.
first game against the Packers, he was back, man.
Yeah. So what else? Hockey. Of course, I'm a Capitals fan. My favorite player was Peter Bondra. Uh, I was always rooting for them, and then when they got to the playoffs in '98, we finally made it to the Stanley Cup, but they got swept with the
Red Wings.
the Red Wings. They were just too good, man.
Yeah, that Red Wings team was just too good, man. You got Sergei Fedorov,
Yeah.
Steve Yasmin, those guys, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like
Yeah.
they only had like Peter Bondra and Joey Juno
Joey Juno,
and
what's his name?
old Dale Hunter,
Sergei Gonchar.
Sergey Gonchar, yep,
Yeah, Oli the goalie.
Olaf Kozig, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
And then
those-
like everybody, I think Gretzky was a guy too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. For me, I was not fortunate to see him. You know what I'm saying? But from just watching, a lot of highlights and
Mhm.
like people talk about him, he's a great one. I mean, NHL retired his number, so
Yeah,
you know.
he's that good. And then
Yeah,
currently, of course, it's Alex Ovechkin.
of
Like
course,
he's the best.
no
I
doubt.
I would say like he's the Peyton Manning of the NHL. He's
Yeah,
he's that talented, but just can't get past the hump.
yeah,
Um, and I think he is going. He's almost at his past his prime already, but he's
yeah.
still got a lot in the tank.
Oh, he does, man. I mean, you
Yeah,
see guys like Yarmir Yager playing till like I don't even know
yeah,
how old, but he was old as shit. Mario Lemieux came back
yeah.
from what he was going through. So I mean, I think with hockey, man, it's just dudes that are old they could come back and play. I mean, it doesn't take.
Mhm.
I don't think it takes much for
Yeah,
them to come back. So I mean, Dale Hunter, Adam Oates, those
yeah,
guys, you know, they,
definitely.
they're old and they still played. So
Yeah, and then lastly for baseball, my favorite player growing up, Cal Ripken.
yeah, of course,
When there was no nationals, there were
that's
the Expos, Montreal Expos.
that's
You
the
know
Iron Man, Cal Ripken.
that was the guy that everybody root for in the DMV. I think there was nobody that I know that didn't like Cal Ripken
Yeah,
the way that I'd like to call him the Iron Man. He never missed a game.
until
Like
this
he was
day.
consistent, man. Yeah,
Till this day, I'm looking for that jersey, but I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. But
yeah.
yeah,
Mitchell
you're right
Ness,
about that.
yeah, Mitchell Ness taxing, but you
Yeah,
do what you got to do.
yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
you're right about Cal Ripken, man. I mean, that's the guy that everybody was just rooting for, especially around this area.
yeah. All right, so your turn, Rel.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, man, it's just a lot of things with like being in sports. Like there is like being loyal and stuff like that. But when I'd ask you, I mean, obviously you already know, but who are your favorite sports teams?
Yeah, so that is a good question. So, me living, born in DC, living in Maryland, DMV, of course you got to root for the home team, right? So I was a diehard, Bullets fan, Wizards fan, Redskins fan. At that time, there was no baseball in DC, so you had to root for the Orioles. And then when the Nats came in '05, then I switched. That was the only time I switched teams, because you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's a you just gotta you gotta just support, man, no matter what,
yeah, yeah.
And then hockey is Caps, and then foot. If you want to put it a step further, you got your DC United,
Yeah,
you got your Washington Valor, the Arena
yeah.
Football.
Yeah.
So
It's
it's
too. It's too bad they folded, but they were the
yeah.
champions. So
Yeah, even XFL, the DC Defenders. Like
and they're
I was supposed to go to that one game when they were in LA, but
they were they
I
were
was
they were
actually.
on their way there. They were on
Mhm,
their way to the championship. I think it
yep.
would have been them in Houston. So
hmm Yeah. So like for me, I've always been loyal to my teams, uh, and I think that's something that you don't find nowadays. It's just like fan loyalty, especially now, like with the whole like Redskins like name change. We can
yeah,
touch into that. Like for me, I knew that it was an issue when you're a kid. You didn't understand, right? You just love the game. You love the team,
right,
but the more you grow up, as you grow up, you don't know what's right and wrong.
right,
Now you're like, all right, well, I get it. Like people get offended, so
right,
the Washington football team, it's cool.
right.
Shout out to Rambo.
Yeah. How you feel about that Washington football team though? Like how do you feel about that the name change and what's surrounding it?
I think it's a good. I mean, to me, it's a good placeholder because I know that that team isn't like the finalized like team name yet.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it. I honestly wanted like Washington like football club, just like soccer, right? But they're
Washington
not
FC.
FC, right? But they're
Yeah.
not geared. That team isn't geared towards like the soccer mantra or
Yeah.
mentality. So I get it. I see that they wanted Washington football team. And it's cool that instead of the Indian logo, they're gonna be like Alabama. They're just gonna
Yeah.
have
With the
like
numbers
their,
on the
and
helmet.
that's great. I think that's great. You know, it's not just like a plain burgundy helmet like the 75th anniversary one that they have, the old school ones they had back
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
So I think it's great. I mean, honestly, like you just have to like accept it.
yeah.
A
It's
lot
crazy.
of yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy because I mean, there's a few people that you know that pretty much accept that name. I've been seeing, like going through social media, everyone's like, "Oh, they're so lazy, blah blah blah." Like they couldn't come up with anything. I mean, people got to understand, like, coming up with names is probably easy, but like, designing and all that stuff. I mean, that still has to go through
yeah,
Nike.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like I said, there's a very few of you guys that that like that team, man. But I think everybody else are just like, ugh, no. But that I
yeah,
mean that comes along with being loyal, like you
yeah.
said.
Like people hated like the Wizards, right? Like, oh, I hate that name. I mean, eventually they grew out, but I'm hoping in time like they change it back to the Bullets.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's time. I mean, they're not. Of course, they got John Wall and Bradley Beal and Hachimura, but nobody wants to wear like. Oh, honestly, like we're not that relevant as far as like you know what I mean. Like nobody wants to buy a Wizards jersey. People,
yeah.
the older heads want to buy a Bullets jersey.
Bullets jersey because
You
it's
know,
very nostalgic.
it's nostalgia, yeah. So I think that's great. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, just closing in with the name change. Uh, it's gonna take time for us to get used to it. I've
Yes.
already accepted it, and then that's just the new normal, like how
Yeah.
things are now.
Yeah. I mean,
How about yeah? Go ahead.
no, I was going to say for me, it's just it's going to be weird for me to accept, but I mean, obviously, I have no choice but accept it because being
Yeah.
in the NFC East, being an NFC East fan guy, I mean, it's going to be weird, like because the Cowboys and the Redskins is like the most, for me, it's like very nostalgic. That's one of the first games I ever saw,
Mhm.
on TV. So it's like the next time they play in Thanksgiving is going to be the Cowboys versus
The Washington football team.
or whatever they come up with. So
Mhm.
I mean, it's I guess I just got to
Yeah.
get used to the
If it's
change.
if they decide it's Red Tails or Warriors or whatever their name is, you just gotta embrace it and accept it.
Yeah.
So how about you? Like, who are your favorite sports teams, bro?
See, we're different in a way because I mean, I don't, I live in obviously in this hometown. I mean, Washington D.C., Maryland, Virginia. But for football, I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Basketball, obviously, I'm a Chicago Bulls fan. Hockey, I kind of go both, with the Philly team and the Caps because it's just like me watching sports. Baseball, still with the Nats and the Orioles. So I mean, that's it's two teams you got to keep up with.
Yeah,
So like you say, the other sports like DC United. Yeah, I'm all home team. It's just not baseball, and
yeah,
I mean
yeah.
it's not basketball and the football. So, but it's not that I don't know anything about the team though. I still keep up with the home
Hmm.
teams. I know what's going on, but
Yeah.
you know, that's just the teams I just grew up with. I think it's just where I was placed and where I was at in my life at that time. That was the teams that I saw, and I just decided to follow. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like, what made you become like? I know how you became like a Bulls fan. Like, I gotta give it to you. You were even a Bulls fan after when Jordan retired, when they like were terrible. They had
Yeah,
like Marcus Pfizer and Tyson
yeah,
Chandler and
yeah, yeah. Eddie
Ben
Curry.
Gordon, Eddie
Yeah.
Curry. So I always wanted to know, like, how did you become like an Eagles fan?
uh, to be honest with you, it was a funny story because me and my dad was watching football one time. It was the Eagles and the Redskins. So my dad decided, goes, "Oh yeah, that's the Washington football team. Like this is where we live. That's the
Hmm.
team that they cheer for." I said, "Okay, I'm gonna cheer for the other team." I was like, I'm gonna cheer for the Philadelphia Eagles just cause. And then from then on out, I started following them, and also I liked their colors at that time. That Kelly green, and then that midnight green, that switch. So that's how I became the Eagles team, man. That's that's
Yeah,
that's where it started, and it was it was a good memory for me too, especially sharing it with my dad. And still till this day, he's a Redskins fan. So
oh yeah, yeah. Because I know that now your dad's live in the Philippines. You still
yeah,
keep him updated, right, with what's going
yeah,
on.
yeah. Of course, all the time.
So
I told him about the name change and stuff. So
yeah. I know you always lace up your dad. Like I always see your dad like
yeah,
he always like have like a fitted on, and then
yeah.
you
He
know
gave
he
him
always
he gave him that fitted with the R on there, the Joe Gibbs
yeah
joint.
yeah. He looked like he
Yeah,
was part. He looked like he part of the coaching staff when he was wearing
I
that.
know, right? Yeah. So
Yeah, so I know your dad's loyal. You know, I know your dad was like he was a big
yeah,
RG3 fan, right?
yeah.
Yeah, RG3 too, man. That was a magical moment in 2012.
Well, that was a great time in DC sports too, because
Yeah,
I mean that was very promising for you guys. So
yeah. Like I said, injuries, man. Injuries
yeah,
just turn everything upside down.
yeah.
It's crazy. All right, so bouncing it to me, like as a sports fan, what were your most memorable sports moments?
Uh, Obviously the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, 2017. Following that was the Caps winning Stanley Cup, and then following that, it was the Nationals winning the World Series. So, I mean, you can see for me, it was just like back to back to back.
Hmm.
But obviously that's like an easy answer. To me, I think it's probably going to be 2004 when the Eagles beat the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC Championship game. Because being the Eagles, they're always in the NFC Championship game, almost like every year prior to that, and they
Hmm.
never got through. And so, them beating Vic and the Falcons, that was just like the biggest, I guess, sports um, memory for me at that time. I was in high school, so that was one of them. So I think that stands out the most. Even though we lost in the Super Bowl against the Patriots at that time, I think that was the number one.
So that's cool, man. For me, my most favorites. Well, of course, like
Yeah, I mean that's for me. It's just NFL, but I mean, you could go with yours at the
oh yeah.
your
So
NFL.
my NFL, yeah,
Yeah.
NFL. Of course, I was in 2001. I got edited again. I'll be back. Almost.
Am I too loud because I can't hear with the? Want me to turn off that light? No. Okay. The lighting is bad over here. You're done? No. You gotta talk to the tail. Did I take the trash already? Yeah. You said whatever you have left, just throw it away and part of your. Oh, what's up, dude? The heck? It does. Once it gets wet, it stinks. What happened to it? Your work pants are in there. This is you. I thought it was the old work pants. This is you. Well, some of them stinks. They're a towel or something. It stinks. A green towel is in here. Green towel is there. Smell like your legs stinking. Needs to be laid down. Easy.
Is that Letty in the back?
Yeah, she's feeding now. She's about to go to sleep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, we could start all over with that favorite sports.
For both of us.
Yeah,
All right.
let's start all over.
All right. All right,
So
three
you're gonna ask me what was my
favorite moments.
most, yeah. So it'll be NFL first.
NFL, yeah, whatever you want to talk about. All right,
All right, bet.
three, two, one. All right, so my next question for you, Rel, what are your most favorite sports moments? Like any sport.
Any sport. Man. So obviously, you know, it's an easy answer. Like I said, the Eagles winning the Super Bowl in 2017 with the Caps winning 2018 Stanley Cup. And then the Nationals winning last year World Series. But the one that stands out to most to me is Philadelphia Eagles beating the Atlanta Falcons in the 2004 NFC Championship game. It was just the fact that they've been in the championship game almost every year prior to that, and they just couldn't get over the hump. So like just seeing them win was just like, I think it was like a big treat for me and I guess the city of Philadelphia. Because there was a lot of heartbreaks, man. Like McNabb throwing that pick again to what's his name, Rondé Barber against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of bad memories. So it's just them getting over the hump. That was just I think that was probably my most memorable one. I think let me just add one more thing there. I think obviously with the Chicago Bulls, their 1998 finals, the last dance. Everyone can say the same thing. Being a Bulls fan, that's like it's like bittersweet, man. It's like you want a repeat of it, but you can't. So it's just like you just got to enjoy that moment. So
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I think that's what I think that's like on my list too.
yeah,
That
yeah, yeah,
championship. That's
yeah,
definitely a sports moment for me.
yeah,
That one, of course, like with the Caps winning, and then Nats winning. Nats. I mean, we talked about the last episode or a couple episodes before. Like the Nats meant more to me than the
yeah.
Caps. The Caps, they were expected to win multiple, right? The Nats, it was like people say, oh, it's like a fluke win. Like people didn't
Nah,
expect.
that's not a yeah.
Ain't no fluke win, man.
Nah, ain't no fluke win.
You go against the best team in baseball in the World Series, the best team, in the MLB with the Dodgers, and you knock them out at their house.
Yeah.
That's not a fluke.
There's no fluke wins in baseball, man. I
Nope.
mean, baseball is hard enough of a sport to call anything fluke.
Yep.
You're playing like how many, like 100 and some 82 games.
Yeah.
It's not one of those games. Especially the Dodgers. Like you said, Dodgers
Yeah.
they're like a tough team, especially playing at home.
Oh
You can't
yeah.
call you
Yeah.
can't call anything fluke with that. So
Yep. I know. So like for my sports moment, I mean that's a nice like segue.
yeah,
Um, when I went, I guess sports moment like when I went to the game 5 with the Nats and Dodgers. I didn't know. I was confident that they had enough to win, but it didn't look too good when they're down 3-1 in the eighth.
yeah,
And
yeah, man.
then when I went to the bathroom. I was like a long line, and then they were down 3-1, and then all I hear was people like getting mad. Shit, like fuck. I'm like, well, they
Yeah,
don't get mad. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
all of a sudden, like I see my phone, Rendon hit solo home run, Soda hit solo home run, and then oh damn, like I was with like hanging out with like like Nationals fans too. Like we were like in the right field like
yeah, yeah,
part. Yeah, they were like, what the hell's going on? And then they tied it up. And then when Howie hit that grand slam,
yeah, yeah. That was a game
man,
changer
it's
right
it's
there.
one of those moments that you knew where you were right when that moment
Yeah.
happened. So like, of course, I was jumping up and down, and then I saw so many people like crying. They were so pissed. Yeah, true story.
Yeah,
Like grown men
yeah.
crying, grown women
Oh
crying,
yeah, yeah,
kids crying. They were
yeah,
just exiting. They were exiting like the stadium, and then like a lot of them like they were respectful, like they knew we were Nats fans. Like they came up to me, shook my hand, hey, good series, man. Those as much that hurts for them. I think you got to be a good sport about it. Like you just gotta accept it and move on.
yeah.
And yeah, that's a great like moment for me. And then if I could add an individual sports moment, it was Gilbert Arenas like scoring 60 on Kobe.
Yeah,
You know, I can
yeah,
tell you this: like a lot of people here, they don't want to talk. They want to hear it. They don't
yeah.
want
Of
to talk
course,
about it.
man.
That's
No
that's
one
their
wants to
guy.
talk about that. Yeah, that's their guy,
Yeah.
man.
When I was living in Maryland, I was at '06. I stood
Yeah, oh
up like
six.
what time? Like till 1 in the morning. He scored 60, like easy on.
That was before the 81, right?
Oh no, that was 81 already.
Oh, that was 81 already.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that was
Oh yeah.
81. That was like the year before. I think he was like '04, '05. No,
Okay.
'05.
Okay. Oh
'05.
five. Okay.
I think
Yeah. Yeah.
'05 or '06. Yeah, he hit
Yeah.
81 already. But that was
Okay.
all. That was Jalen Rose, like 81. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, yeah, 60. It was crazy. So like a cool thing too, and we can go in the podcast too. When I met Gil in January, he knew like I was a fan. I had all these jerseys. I had my son Mateo dressing Gilbert and stuff. And then when I pulled out the gold jersey, I was like, Can you sign his jersey?" Yeah, no problem. Real cool dude.
Yeah.
But I told him, "Hey, Gil, can you write a message? Can you put 60 on Kobe?" And he looked at me like, "Are you serious?" He started laughing. Like, yeah, because it happened on this, right?
Yeah.
He started shaking his head. Like, he started laughing.
Yeah.
So to me, that was a great like individual moment for me. Like witnessing that. I mean, yeah, Kobe's 81. That was great. But when you score 60 on like one of the greatest NBA players in like history, one of the
Yeah.
top five,
If not, if
you
not
know,
number one.
number one, right? That's
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
accomplishment.
Yeah, man.
That's an accomplishment. So
Right.
like, you know, for me that was great. Like just witnessing that. Of course, like the Nats too was also great. And then with the good, you have to take with the bad, right? So like, what were your like favorite worst sports moments?
For me, it was probably, man, 2005 Super Bowl against the Patriots with the Eagles.
Yeah, I knew
Yeah,
you
that
were
was
gonna say
so
that.
close.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it just all follows. Obviously New England was like super good at that time, man. But I mean, they were going through that whole Spygate stuff. But I mean, we don't know. Maybe they were just super good, right?
But yeah,
But
I think though, like I think that was the year like T.O. broke his ankle, right? And they came back.
yeah, yeah,
In
uh,
my opinion, if T.O. Terrell Owens didn't fracture his ankle, you guys would have won it all.
yeah. I mean, he played his heart out with
Yeah,
even that, but he wasn't 100%.
yeah. He had like 10 catches for 120 yards
Yeah,
on a broken
yeah,
ankle,
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
and then the way he
But,
ran, you didn't even know like he was running on a broken ankle.
yeah, yep. I mean, we could all blame McNabb and all that stuff, but I mean, it was just one of those games, man. I mean, it was a close game. It was like 24-21,
Yeah,
but you know, that to me that was probably the most worst ever because I was just devastated that day, man.
yeah.
I was really devastated. But yeah, man, I think that probably stands out the most. And probably the other ones is probably just the Caps losing every time in the Eastern, Conference semifinals. I think one game that stood out the most for them was against the Canadians because I think they were up like 3-0 in the
They were eighth
series.
seed. They were the eighth seed, right?
Yeah, and they were up like 3-0 in the series, and then the Canadians came back and then just won in Game 7.
Yeah.
Um, and there was this for the Nationals, man. It was I think again it was against the Cardinals.
Heartbreak, man. They only had one
Was it?
out away. Yeah,
Yeah, it was the Cardinals, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
2012. I
yeah.
remember.
That was one of the games, man. But
I think
it could
15.
have
Yeah,
been
I think either 15. Yeah, I think it was 15.
no, I think it was 15 because it could have been a Beltway series. It could
You're
have been the
right.
Orioles.
The
Yeah,
Orioles. Yeah, that's when they played
yeah,
the Royals. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I think it was San Francisco that won it all that year. So yeah, but I wanted that series so bad. So that was bad. So
I know. That dude, man. That closer. That was one of my worst sports moments
yeah,
watching that. And then
yeah,
they had like all just one out, and then the guy got a hit, got a single.
yeah. I know, man.
That too, and then when the Giants beat us in like 18 innings in
Yeah,
that NLCS or DS,
yeah. DS.
that was terrible, man. And we were
Yeah,
playing at home too.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's the thing I didn't get about the Nats at that time. They're always losing at home. you
yeah.
know?
But it was that year too that they didn't want to play Strasburg. Remember,
Yeah,
like because he had a Tommy John.
yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
that
very
was
true.
that, and then another worst sports moment. It was 20 like the 20. Yeah, the 2013 wild card with the Redskins and Seahawks.
Oh man,
When
with RG3.
RG3, yeah, when
Yeah,
his knee just
yeah,
gave out, that was the worst game. Because honestly, I
yeah,
think they had a chance to go all the way. My opinion,
yeah.
the way they were playing.
That defense was stout too. So
Yeah, yeah, they were a bunch of no names. Yeah, and then basketball. Shit.
I already know
Yeah,
this.
yeah. So like, yeah, as a Gill fan, you guys are if you guys are LeBron James fan. When LeBron James came up to him in the free throw line, I think it was like the '06 playoffs.
Yeah,
Told him if you miss these free throws, you know what's gonna happen. We're gonna win this game. And then you know missed those free throws, and then Damon Jones had
yep.
to get that game winner, and then that
Bama
broke my
Damon
heart.
Jones. Yeah,
Yeah, because like they were, they had that game too. I
they
thought,
did.
yeah,
They did. I remember.
yeah,
I was
Gil,
watching that
yeah.
game.
When Gil hit that three from 40 feet to tie the game, I said, oh yeah, we gonna win this.
Yep.
And then they were up two. Oh no, yeah, one could have made it three to like force game seven.
Yep.
I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like he
Yeah.
never misses, man.
I remember seeing that game. I was like, "What the hell did LeBron say to Gil, man?" I was like, "This guy doesn't miss free
And
throws."
he just shook it off. Like
Yeah.
yeah. And then like I asked Gil too, because like when like we had a lot of time like when he was like coaching and stuff. So I asked him, hey Gil, man, what happened in the free throw? He said he said I just Nick Anderson did. And then even though Nick
Ooh.
Anderson when he hit
Yeah, I remember
those
that.
free
Yeah.
throws in the
Yeah.
'95 NBA finals,
Yeah.
he said I just Nick Anderson did. And he just like shook his head. He said we had a bomb ass team too. Like yeah, we knew we had a bomb ass team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but those I think that was like those two moments for me was like no three Nats losing, RG3 blowing out his knee in the wild
Yeah.
card,
Yeah.
and then Gil missing those free throws. Worst
Yeah.
sports moment for me.
Well, I'll tell you what, the worst was, obviously, it has something to do with LeBron and these guys too. But, like the Bulls with Rose not being able to get over that hump. And obviously
Oh
Derrick
my
Rose
god.
blowing out his knee against the Sixers, man. That was, that's my guy, man. Like
Oh,
that
he was
Bulls team.
yeah he was like I think that was the second year right trying to like
Yeah,
win MVP.
yeah, yeah. That Bulls team was like stout, man. Like they could have done something. So,
They had yeah
but
LeBron man just
yeah,
LeBron.
LeBron's LeBron, man. You gotta give it to him, man.
Yep.
That's the king. So yeah, that Heat team, you could it was almost like an intimidation factor. It's like how the Warriors was like recently.
Mhm.
Anytime you play those guys, it's like, oh man, like they're gonna win. So that's how it was with the 2012 Heat and up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a crazy thing, man. But yeah, it's definitely exciting. Like the Orlando bubble is back.
Yeah.
What do you think about with the NBA preview that we're having right now? The NBA restart, as they call it.
Yeah. So like for me, like I couldn't I couldn't imagine like how they would restart the game, like
Yeah,
with the NBA,
yeah,
and then just watching, just actually like I had to like see it for myself. So I actually bought like NBA League Pass just for like $20, right? So even $20.
it's only
So
20 now.
yeah, it's 20. You might want to
Oh
get
man,
it.
yeah,
Yeah. So like you know what I mean? Like I want to check it out. I bought
yeah.
League Pass, and then when I saw that first game they were playing. I forgot which team it was. It wasn't that bad. It's just like,
Was it Lakers and the Magic?
yeah. I
Or
think that was that game I was watching. Yeah. So
okay,
like, it was great because like, uh, of course, like it was just the coaching staff and players and referees and like the score table, and then broadcasters were like broadcasting like from a different like they're like doing like a Zoom site or like WebEx,
right.
and then they're doing like their commentary. So I think it's great that they're finishing the NBA season that way
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you don't want to just end a season on that kind of thing
yeah,
where
yeah,
yeah. because like the way it was, like LeBron, Lakers are rolling, Bucks are rolling, and also in the East, in the West, like there are so many things else were going on, and then it just stopped for 3 months, 4 months,
Yeah,
how long
yeah.
it was. So now, a lot of a lot of NBA fans are excited now. Uh, it's weird because like to me it's not weird, but like it looks like you're playing like Unity games,
That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah. It's like
big
it's a
arenas.
neutral site. Yeah, it's a neutral site. These guys were playing in
Yeah,
like big arenas.
yeah, and it's
But
cool. Like they even have like I'm sure you've seen they have those like video boards where they have like if it's like a home game for Miami, they'll chant like "Let's go Heat," and then they have all
yeah,
these. It's cool. I think it's a nice touch. And
right.
then like if you watch like people like when they vlog like Javel, I've been watching like Javel McGee.
His vlogs on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a wild dude. Yeah, so like him and then the dude from the Sixers, I forgot his name, Ty Bewley, I think.
Yeah,
He's a cool dude. Yeah, so like I think from that standpoint, it's good that they restarted it that way. So that way, we have a champion. And I think there won't be like an asterisk because everybody had that same amount of time to prepare. So everybody's on
right.
the even like playing field.
Yeah, I think they were gonna say that like the whole NBA season prior to that, it was not gonna count towards this season. So this is gonna be a new season. Like the MVP votes are gonna be different.
Yep.
Everything. So it is definitely gonna be a new restart.
Yep.
Um, But yeah, I mean, to me, I think it's cool, man, that they're gonna finish it. It's like I said, it is weird just watching it on TV, but I am digging the new camera angles that they're doing.
Yeah, that was cool, right? I
Yeah,
think it was
yeah,
the OKC game.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's like that has a panoramic view where like
yeah,
you saw Chris Paul like dribbling the ball and like passing it,
yeah.
all it. So I think that's cool. Like I remember when they were doing that. I think it was like what the 97, 98 like NBA like All Star game. I
Right.
remember like they did it in Madison Square Garden. They
Yeah,
had that panoramic view.
yeah. They even did it in
Oh
DC.
yeah, DC too. That was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. The All Star game.
So hopefully they do that.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I'm excited for basketball. You know, I'll hopefully we'll have a champion, but it's gonna be wild because I think it's gonna be like like maybe an Eastern or Western Coast finals. It's probably gonna be one of those lower seed teams that's gonna make it.
yeah. I mean, who would you think would be a dark horse for each conference?
Dark horse, I'll probably say I'll give you two teams from the West. It's probably gonna be either the Pelicans or the Blazers, the way they're playing right now, or
Yeah, I like the
OKC.
Blazers. Yeah, OKC.
The way Melo, you
How
see,
about
if you seen Melo, like how much weight he lost.
Skinny Mellow?
Yeah. So now they're gonna start him now in like starting small
Yeah, and
forward.
he's playing small forward.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's the favorites as the Lakers and the Bucks. Who's that team probably to be a threat to those teams? You think the Sixers for the East will be a threat to the Bucks?
Honestly, it's probably gonna be Toronto.
Toronto.
Toronto. A lot of teams. This is my opinion. A lot of like people have been doubting them because
Mm-hmm.
they don't have Kawhi. It's kind of like the Bryce Harper like factor, right? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
when you lost your best player, they're not going to be good anymore.
Right.
I think they have a really good balance team, especially like Pascal Siakam, like Spicy P.
Siakam.
Yeah, he's a good dude. And then Kyle
Yeah.
Lowry, as much as we flame him as a bum ass player, he's actually all right. And then they got
Yeah.
Van Fleet.
Van Vliet.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
got they got, they got some
they
good
got a
pieces.
lot of role players.
Yeah,
What's his name? Boucher and all those
yeah,
guys. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think it's gonna be great, man. But I think my pick would be the Lakers and the Bucks, maybe in the finals.
Do you think it's gonna
Uh,
happen?
I think so. I don't know, man. I mean, it's tough, but I think the Bucks and the Lakers, I think they're just meant to see each other.
Yeah, and then I think that'll go 7 games.
Yeah,
Who do you have? Who do you
have
have
to.
winning? Who do you have winning that?
I mean, of course, the Lakers, man.
Yeah, LeBron will
They're
get it.
just
He'll get it.
that team is just. I think it's just too stacked, man.
Yeah, but
So that's gonna be another championship added to that
yeah,
trophy
it's gonna
case.
be. I think whoever. it's gonna be between the Lakers and Clippers coming out of the West. Or whoever wins, they're gonna see each other in the Western Conference Finals,
Yeah.
and then the Bucks versus whoever, it's gonna be the Bucks where
Yeah.
they're playing. So, yeah,
Yeah, we'll just stay tuned, man. I mean, NBA restarts what
next,
July 30th,
yeah,
30th,
it's coming up
first,
next week.
yeah.
This week.
Yeah, I think it runs till October,
Mhm.
till that final. So
Yeah,
yeah, there's definitely going to be a sports field season, man. So what do you think with the NFL though? Like, you think we're going to have a season? I mean, the
I
training
think
camp is
so.
going to start this
Yeah,
Tuesday, I think. So
yeah, I think so too. I think what's gonna inspire them to play is how the NBA is handling like the whole pandemic thing.
right,
No, especially baseball too. Uh, I think we just have to just consider this as it's not a lost season, but it is going to be a season of sports, just with no fans.
no fans.
Yeah, that's just the simple thing. We're still going to have the same physical contact, and we're still going to like get upset, like, oh, this game is so soft, but like I said, it's all about adapting, right? Adapting to the game,
That's what they call the new normal now.
the normal, yeah. So I think it's gonna be a great season. Now you have so many factors. Uh, Brady to the Bucks, and you got Hopkins to the Cardinals. That's just like for me the top two, and then
Yeah,
and you got the whole like name change with Washington football
yeah,
team.
yeah.
So
It's just gonna be tricky though
yeah,
because the rookies, they're not gonna have a full training camp. They're not gonna have that preseason. So
hmm
you're probably gonna question how they play. But
yeah,
I mean, as long as they're keeping themselves, like, I guess, active,
yeah,
working out all the time, I think it'll work out for them. Even though there's no training. I mean, there's like no preseason games for him to show. So I think it's just gonna affect fantasy football when you're like trying to draft these rookie guys because you
yeah,
don't know. You don't know how they're gonna play. Like, you don't even know if they're gonna start. So
yeah. So as an
well,
Eagles fan, like, what do you think about drafting Jalen Hurts?
I think that's good, man. For me, I always wanted a quarterback that could back up Carson Wentz because I'm not I'm not sold on Carson, to be honest with you. I'm still a Nick Foles fan. I
There
mean,
you go.
he brought the Super Bowl to
There you
the
go.
to the city. But yeah, I mean, I'm not even bashing Carson. He's a good quarterback. It's just that he can't stay healthy. Yes, he played the full season last year, but he didn't finish.
He couldn't get you guys off the
Yeah,
hump, man.
yeah. And you could say like, oh, he got us to 11-1 that Super Bowl year, but did he finish? No, he didn't finish.
It was
So
it
I
was
mean,
that's Nick Foles for you guys.
yeah, I mean, it's all about finishing the season, and you could always make a case. He was running the MVP at that time, but still, you ain't finish. There's nothing. You know.
So
Um,
here's my
but
prediction with Jalen Hurts. He's gonna play this year at some point.
that's what I was telling people.
Yeah,
I was gonna say maybe like around week 8, week 9, maybe.
maybe sooner than that because the
Yeah,
way how this is a shortened season and knowing Carson Wentz's like injury history,
yeah.
Doug Peterson won't. He's not scared to make changes. Like
Oh no,
you guys had the most fourth down conversions.
it is very
Attempts.
aggressive,
He's
very
not he's
aggressive
not
guy.
scared.
Yep.
So like I said, I won't be surprised like if Jalen Hurts becomes like starting quarterback by week 1.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
that's how that's
I'm
how
not ruling anything out
yeah,
at this point.
yeah.
It's funny because this is the same situation with Lamar Jackson. My coworker was telling me about it too, and then I was like, "Yeah, they drafted Lamar that one year." I was like, "Yeah, watch him start like week 8. He'll take the
It
job
happened, right?
forever." Yeah, it
Yeah,
happened. It's just one of those things, man. When you
yeah.
got quarterbacks that don't produce or they can't finish the season, that's just the nature of the league. That's what's just gonna happen. So, but I'm excited to see, man. I think Jalen Hurts, that's a good talent, and they know what they're doing when they drafted him. So,
Yeah, and you guys have still got Zach Ertz, and you guys have like good wide receiver. You guys even drafted like a good
Jalen
wide
Rager,
receiver. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, a lot of people weren't sold with that guy, but everyone was, they wanted what's his name, CeeDee Lamb, who the Cowboys got now. So,
nah, it's
yeah,
cool.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, it's gonna be great. Like I said, I mean, it's just gonna be weird in the NFC East. It's just there's no
Yeah,
more Redskins. It's just the Washington football
football
team.
team. Yeah,
Yeah, but I do like that pick though that they did, man. Chase Young, that dude's a monster, dude. How do
yeah.
you feel about that guy?
Oh yeah, he's gonna be a monster. I think Urban Meyer even said like I was listening like on ESPN or a couple some podcast. He said he's better than the Bosa brothers combined. Like he just has that elite talent,
Yeah,
and then you can just tell like from the get go. I
the
mean,
dude's a monster, man.
he's a monster. Like
Looking
he
at his
got
workouts.
like he got suspended like what 3-4 games like last year,
Yeah,
and it was still good. You know, I think it's and also switching back like for the Washington football team. They switched to 4-3, which is more of his
oh yeah,
natural,
I mean that's
position.
Ron Rivera's defense. Yeah,
Yeah, and then of course hiring Ron Rivera, you got stability. You have uh, you have that respect factor, right? Because
yeah,
you know he doesn't you know he always says like if you believe in what we do, like you'll win. If you don't win, it's on me. If you do
yeah,
it your own way, you better hope that we win. It's just
yeah,
plain and simple. Of course, like when he was with Carolina, and then like he let Steve Smith go, and you know he it was like a mistake. I mean, we don't know that. Like there was
yeah.
some
You
stuff
don't
that
know.
went
This is
on.
like there's
Yeah,
like a locker room issue,
yeah,
personal issue. So you don't know.
yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty I'm hopeful like Dwayne Haskins like does well this year,
Yeah.
and then you got Terry McLaurin. I think he's gonna be like top
Oh
10
yeah,
fantasy wide receiver.
yeah. That dude burnt the Eagles week 1, man. That
Yeah.
was
Who does you remind you of like as like a former player?
with Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
Ah man, I think I would have to say I don't want to say like this is Rocket Ishmael. He's like how he
Anyone.
was.
Anyone
Yeah,
you can, like first thing you came on to mind. Like who does he remind you of?
honestly, it's Rocket Ishmael, man. I don't
Rocket.
know. Yeah, I don't know. You remember Rocket Ishmael
I
from
remember him. Yeah.
the Cowboys, or maybe even Joey Galloway. Just one of those speed
Galloway.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, speeds guys, man. Like it'll just burn you off. Um, yeah, I mean, you could say like Deshaun Jackson type, but I think Terry's just he's a little bit more athletic. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think I can't put my finger like in it like as far as like who does he remind you of, but he's just like old school. Like
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
he
why.
runs his routes and then
Yeah,
yeah.
that's why I came with Rocket Ishmael because it's just I remember he just run a straight line and just burn the guy off. Like
Yeah.
burn the top off the defense all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's very old school. It's not nothing really fancy or anything like that, but he gets the job done, man.
Yep. And then they got the AP and then Dice. We'll see. I'm not expecting a lot this year from us. Probably gonna be at the bottom. Yeah, I'm just being realistic.
Yeah,
I'm not Mister. I am a fanboy, but I'm also I always take it with a realistic approach.
yeah,
I'm
you
not
got
like,
to.
oh, we're 13-3. Nah, like I don't live in that pipe dream. I'm
Yeah,
more 5-11, 6-10,
I
seven
mean,
to nine.
look at the Browns last year, man. They were the Super Bowl champions of the
Yep,
offseason. You know what
yep.
I'm saying?
They
And
were
look
champions.
what
Yeah.
happened.
Yep.
And look what happened, man. So you can't really go by what's on the paper. You gotta see the results. So
All right, so we'll switch
yeah.
to another sport. We're gonna go to hockey. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on the restart for the NHL season?
Uh, I mean, I like the format. I like the format of the restart. I'm just not sure, which team are gonna do best. Obviously, I'm rooting for the Caps, but I think there's a lot of other teams that are also like in that running.
Mm-hmm.
Before the season ended, I was, obviously, like I said, I was keeping up with the Flyers. The Flyers were on a hot streak before this whole thing happened with the pandemic going on. But yeah, I think the Flyers have, obviously the Penguins too are in that running, but the Flyers is one of those dark horse teams that could be a big threat to probably the Caps and even the Penguins. So
Mm-hmm.
the Western Conference, obviously you got St. Louis Blues. That's defending champions. And then you got I think the Oilers, right? Yeah, the Oilers are in that team.
Edmonton Oilers, yeah,
Yeah, Connor McDavid. He's one of the rising stars in the league. So you gotta watch out for that team too. So I mean,
yeah,
yeah, I'm excited to just see all the sports come back, especially the NHL, man, because I want to see how this format is. So we'll see how it goes, man. But I
yeah.
do want the Caps to win again.
I think they got a good chance.
Yeah,
Especially you have a healthy Ovi,
yeah,
and you know what you can do with a healthy Ovi, and then Backstrom too, and then you
yeah,
got Tom Wilson, and then you
yeah.
got Kuznetsov. They're all healthy.
Coots, yeah. But yeah, man, I think it'll be great. We'll just have to see and stay tuned because
Yeah,
we don't know anything yet. I mean, they haven't been really talking about it too much, I guess, because like NHL here, it's not really talked about unless there's like a team on the rise.
yeah.
So, um, but yeah, man, who's gonna be your pick though to be in the Stanley Cup Finals or whatever they're gonna call it this season?
Cavs versus whoever. I mean, you
Yeah,
gotta go with the home team.
yeah. Go big or go
Whoever,
home, right?
it don't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah. It don't matter.
Don't matter. So I'm sure you feel the same way too, right?
Yeah, yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're all caps on that one. So
Yep.
how about obviously baseball, man? What's gonna transpire on that 60-game season?
Baseball is weird. To me, I mean, it's
I think
not
it's
weird.
cool though. It's
Yeah, it's
cool that they're
cool.
playing in an empty stadium.
Yeah,
So
it's cool. It doesn't even feel like you're there playing in a away team. Like the away team or home team.
yeah,
Um, of course, like the perennial is like the Yankees and the Astros.
yeah. Surprisingly, no,
Yeah,
not surprisingly. I mean, the Yankees are favored every year.
yeah,
So
and like they just Nats almost beat them like today.
yeah, it was a close game.
Yeah, it was a close game, but
Yeah,
could have went either way if they had
yeah,
Soto.
yeah,
So yeah, I think of course like by paper, a lot of people are rooting for the Yankees and the Astros, the Angels.
Probably the Dodgers are still in that conversation too.
I mean, yeah, they got Mookie Betts. I
Yeah,
mean, that lifetime
big,
contract.
big money man right
Yeah,
there.
but what happened with when they got Manny Machado? They were saying the same thing too, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't put them in. Yeah, they are in like the same. My opinion, they're in the same like talent level. Like because Machado's a little bit older now with the Betts,
yeah.
but of course Betts is like one of the rise. One of the
Rising
elite players.
stars.
Yeah, elite player like
Yeah,
Mike, like Aaron Judge.
yeah,
Um, and then the dude from Tampa Bay too, Mike Snell.
yeah,
Yeah, I think Tampa Bay also got a good shot too. Of course, you can't count on the Nats. The key thing is they just got to get Soto back because
yeah,
like he got that Rona.
yeah, man.
I think
It's just,
the offense, like now that Rendona's gone, the offense starts and end with him.
yeah, it is. Yep, he's the future, man.
Yeah, so hopefully it's gonna be tough. I think the Nats might make. I don't think they'll probably get one of the wild cards.
Yeah,
Um, it's gonna be tough with Atlanta, like because Atlanta's stacked too.
yeah. They're stacked. The Braves.
Yeah, Atlanta's stacked. Don't want to sleep on the Cardinals.
Yeah,
Cardinals are
something about the NL East too, man. The
yeah,
NL East is always a competitive division.
yeah. Marlins, don't sleep on
Phillies.
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
Philly. Yeah, Phillies too. So
So
hopefully, like I said, I'm hoping the Nats can come back, but it's going to be tough, even tougher that they're playing a shorter season. But
short
it's
season. Yeah.
actually it benefits the pitchers because they don't have that wear and tear. You have to wait like every 4 days. Your arms all like jacked up. Now it's
Yeah.
just it's like half the season now.
Yeah.
So I don't want to like predict anything yet. I mean, it
Yeah.
just started.
Yeah. It's too early.
But I am counting that I am confident that the Nats will probably be in it.
Yeah. I think for me in the West, I'm probably gonna say the Dodgers are probably gonna be in there.
August, yeah,
But the AL, I'm not quite sure. Um, But I mean, like I said, the Nats will be a wild card, so
Yeah,
for them. But I just don't know, man. Like you said, I mean, they other teams are too strong right now.
yeah. I think,
as
like I
much
said, like
as
as
much
you go ahead.
as much as I want them to make it again, it's just gonna be a tougher road, man.
Oh, it is. It is.
So
Yeah, like I said, like all even the worst teams can also have the best
yeah,
chance to win.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's like a toss up right now.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of knowns. I mean, like you said, it's all this sports stuff that's going on. It's like our next subject. I mean, we don't even know if it's gonna go back to how it is normally. Like are we gonna
yeah.
is it gonna be this new normal from here on out, or is there gonna be new changes or what? And so I mean, what do you think about that?
Uh, I think with of course like with the whole current pandemic right now, wearing a mask and wearing gloves, being social distant. Yeah, I think until they find a vaccine, a cure, it's just gonna be like this. Like how we're living now is how we're gonna be watching sports as well.
Yeah,
You
it's
know, you,
crazy.
you you even see like sports athletes, like they carry that one guy. I
Yeah,
forget.
sanitizer.
Yeah, hand sanitizer, right?
Yeah,
In the
yeah,
first base.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And then like you have like players wearing like masks. You see like Mike D'Antoni wearing a mask. He
yeah.
doesn't have to. He's tested, but I think he said that he wanted to set an example that hey, like we also want to be aware of the current pandemic. Um, and I think we won't be back to normal maybe for another year.
Right.
Maybe this is like 2020 has been like the worst year as far as like everything, like Kobe passing
Everything.
away. When Kobe
Yeah,
passed away, it
that was
just
it.
like is the worst.
That
And
was
that was
it.
also one of the worst sports moments too.
Yeah,
I would
that.
say,
Yeah.
like everybody loved Kobe, no matter like if you hate him or not, you
Oh yeah,
respected him.
you got to respect them.
Yeah.
So
So I think when he passed away and then the whole coronavirus thing like happened, just like doing normal stuff, like you go to the mall, like when you used to like me and you like look at shoes.
yeah, it's not even the
Now
same
it's like
anymore.
not
To
the
be
same no
honest with
more.
you. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
gotta wear a mask. It's mandated like
Yeah.
everywhere.
It's not that we don't want to wear it. It's just sometimes for some people it's inconvenience. But I mean, you
Yep,
got to do what you got to do, man. You're not
exactly.
trying to catch that stuff, so you just got to
Yeah,
keep doing it.
yeah,
But as far as like the capacity wise, I don't want to be waiting in line just to
yeah,
just look around. That's the thing with me. It's just like you know, I just want to look around, but then there's just like a whole rack of
yeah,
people in the line. There's no point,
yeah,
and I mean, I think I'm not gonna waste my time just
yeah,
waiting in line just to look. You
yeah.
know?
The way Mirael rolls, like we can like go to the mall, and then we can just look inside
Yeah,
from the outside. We already
yeah,
know like all right, there's
yeah.
nothing there.
There's nothing there. There's nothing good.
It's a talent. It's a gift. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mirael is look. You see anything? Like nah, me neither. I don't see
everything.
nothing.
We're leaving.
When you don't see red tags on the shoe,
Yeah,
there's
that's
nothing.
that's all it is.
There's nothing.
Yeah,
And we will get into like sneakers, in our later podcast. So,
yeah.
but yeah. So how about you? Like, how do you feel about the whole like the new normal now with sports? Like, when will it be back to normal?
I mean, I think it's good that they're coming back. Showing it on TV. Just restarting everything, but it's still weird. It's gonna be time. It's gonna take time to adjust to a lot of things. But like I said, it's just being. Yeah, I'm just glad that it's on TV because not having any sports, I think it goes to with people's mental. I
Yeah,
think people need sports.
yeah,
To be honest with you,
yeah,
so I think it's a good thing. But as far as like going back into like like seeing like watching sports in stadiums, I think that's gonna take a while. Like you said, it might take a year or so
yeah,
for just enough for them to find enough time for them to find a vaccine. But yeah, because I mean, I'm not a fan of like I'm not saying I'm not a fan, but I don't usually go to sports stadiums and watch sports. So I don't have that itch to go. So I think it's for the people that really want to see it live. I think it's just harder for them. But just be glad that it's back on TV and
Yeah.
they're playing again. So
Yeah, be thankful, right? Like we got something to watch.
yeah.
You don't want to watch cornhole anymore on ESPN or
or like
how much you gonna watch like NFL greatest moment plays on the NFL Network?
or like NFL replays of like like a bad game or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think I want to watch the for you? Do you think you want to watch the 2001 like NFC Championship game with
That's what
the
I'm saying.
Panthers
Yeah, we're
and
done with that,
Eagles?
man.
Yeah, you know.
Or you don't want to be watching no axe throwing, championship or
Yeah, I don't want to see that,
yeah,
man.
or
I'm
chopping
done.
trees down as a sport. I mean, no offense, but
Yeah,
that's not for us, man.
sports is back, and I think everybody needs it.
Yeah,
You know,
like I say, it's good for everyone's mental health, man.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
but yeah, I mean, like you said, just be glad that everything's
Yeah.
back and we're restarting, and
Yeah.
we'll go from here, and hopefully the NFL don't do anything.
Yeah.
Just because football is like the most important sport in America, to be honest with you, like in my opinion. So.
Oh yeah, it's the most popular sport next to the NBA.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right, so this wraps up our sports talk. We appreciate you guys like listening to us. We will have other good episodes. We'll have like some great episodes. In the next
guests.
Yeah, we got some guests for you guys. I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy it. And then we just we appreciate it again. Don't forget
keep
to
doing what we're doing from here, man. Yeah,
like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and then our Apple Podcast, and then hopefully we can put it down to like other platforms. I know I've been getting like people asking me to put it on Spotify and Stitcher.
Yeah.
So I hear you guys. I hear you guys. So I'm gonna try to get everything all situated. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. So this wraps up the episode 6. So this is Dandin.
Sergeant Machismo, man. We signing out.
All right. Peace.